This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day. How do you grow prayer like that? I said I would have given you a prescription. I would have told you, okay, pray for 6 hours every day. But your destiny may not be that big. And it's not insulting. We can't tell you that everybody needs to pray for 1/4 of their life, because that's what 6 hours per day means, so that they can matter. Some people's destiny don't require 1/4 of their life in prayer. Are you with me? If I give you 1 naira, parable of talents, if I give you one naira, it's easier to walk into a second 1 naira than the guy who has 5 naira. He needs a lot more effort to drive 5 naira. For example, if 1 naira produces maybe one phone is 1 naira. Let's assume. Okay, you don't believe. Let's imagine that one phone, that this my Android phone is 1 naira. It's not an expensive phone, so it's not too far from 1 naira. You think it's like, you are big people now. So, if I was giving 1 naira, and if I buy a phone with 1 naira, to sell it will give me 2 naira. If they give you 5 naira, that means all of us, you will buy 5 phones, so that you can get how much? 10 naira. If it's the same community we are selling to, I just need to sell 1 phone. So the effort I need to sell my 1 phone and double my money will not be as much as your own. Because if at the close of the day, each of us sells one phone, based on Jesus's deduction, you are still unprofitable, because they gave you 5. Technically what you have is 2. Abi? But me, I'm already 100%. I've doubled my money. So, some people's destiny, I'm not saying that anybody's destiny is 5 minutes of prayer per day. You will not arrive. But I had to tell the person, don't kill yourself. I told that we don't pray long because we are looking for destiny. Destiny is propelled from the plane of the fellowship of prayer. Somebody say fellowship of prayer. The interactions in prayer is what keeps me glued to prayer. If you are playing Sudoku, you know that game. What makes you spend 3 hours without knowing on Sudoku is that the game is designed to be addictive. Prayer is designed to be addictive. It's so interesting that you'll be lost inside it. When I was in youth service, one of those days, I've been hearing the movie Lord of the Rings, and you know the movies are long. I sat and watched 1, 2, 3 in one sitting. Yes, in one sitting. It mean I finished praying in the midnight, I started watching. I finished like in the afternoon. We were on break, and now it's long. I think they're about 3 hours, thereabout. Yeah, so it's like a 9-hour stretch. Because you want to know the next thing that is happening. I don't know, people watch those Korean things. They are not watching films. They are just wasting their time. But if you watch the active ones, like I watched Legend of the Seeker. You basically want to know what's next. Or there's this Korean fighting film, Jumong. Those ones are okay. Jiwala is a Jumong person. So when you watch those kind of movies, the movie is what keeps you in the movie. So we are not struggling to pray long. Prayer is designed to keep a man in prayer. The fellowship that you get out of prayer is what traps you there. It doesn't begin like that. So we tell people to start prayer with routines. 15 minutes, sustain it every day. 30 minutes, sustain it every day. You can use an alarm. And when you have finished praying your prayer point and you still think there's still time, stay there. You can ask for another body. You can open your Bible. a burden will fly at you, and then you continue. So it has to be mechanically entered into. But a place comes in prayer when you are carried. And that prayer that expresses that way, expresses in a timeless realm. So it is the prayer that keeps you in prayer. You want to stop, just go, Jesus. And another burden comes, a verse of scripture comes, you track again. That's what keeps you there. So, I got into all of this by telling us that some people's destinies are not that big. It's not that their destinies are not important, but their location is not big. And so there are certain labors that they will not go into. Okay, we don't have two married. Is your wife in town? If you want to give birth to a baby that is 2.7 kg, and it's not a bad weight for a baby, there's a way you will labor. But if you have tuned, if you are a chocolate eater, you eat you eat Pringles, you eat mango, you eat guava, don't worry. You may end up with maybe a 3.7 baby or a 4.0. You see, when they say push, you understand that push has two distinct meanings. What creates the difference is the animosity of what you want to birth. That's why we cannot compare people. And because we cannot compare people, we cannot compare nations. Israel, for example, came into prophecy as a man, Jacob. Israel was battered in a wrestling ring as a man. He was a man that contended with an angel. And it was in that contest that he was given a name. Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast wrestled with God and with men, and thou hast prevailed. His victory in that fight was the birth of a nation. It means what you may be going through may be because you are a nation. And when you want to, so in relating with you, there are two ways I can solve your problems. But I must first know what you are. Because if I don't know what you are, I'll be dealing with that problem wrongly. If a man does not have food to eat, say I'm hungry, I don't have money. If I think that you are a man, I will give you money. But if I discern that you are actually a nation, giving you money will not solve a national problem. Are you with me? I'm saying that there are human beings who need national solutions because their problem is national. Ha! Jesus, help us understand this thing. Some people in the family are tied to other people. They are freelancers in families. Okay, you know what they call multi-level marketing. I'll finish this thing tomorrow. In multi-level marketing, there is somebody at the top of the pyramid, and there are these people they call downlines. The downlines actually do not work for the company. They work for the guy up. Are you with me? So that if they don't labor well, the guy up will stop earning after his first earning. So the guy will be looking for downlines too. So not because he lost them, but because in completing their own 2 or 3 people, he will earn money too. Are you with me? I am saying that some people are people. When Jacob was born, there were many people that were born during his time. Are you with me? There were many children around when Jacob was born. At least Shechem had a father. Abi? Good. So Shechem's father must have been a contemporary of Jacob. There were many people around. It was not an isolated family. But when Jacob, when the 2 boys were in the womb and the pregnancy became troubling, the word that the Lord brought to them was there are 2 nations. So this pregnancy is not boys, it's nations. The fight is, so if you now give that lady paracetamol, you are solving her problem as though she's carrying babies. Unknown to you, she's carrying nations that will stand at the neck of themselves. So they started it from the womb, so that when one was coming out, the other one pulled it back and came out before it. If Jacob now comes to your house and say, please, I'm dying of thirst. If you say, get out, I'll look for water. If he starves to death, it's a nation that you quenched. It's not a man. May God give you the lenses, one, to understand what I'm saying, two, to be able to come to terms with the true nature of people. There are people around you that must not fall sick, because in the day of their sickness, everybody goes down. There are people that must not die. When Dorcas died, other people were dying. Abi, you know why they contended and called a senior apostle to come and minister? Was because Dorcas was not one lady. She was the livelihood of many people. So they brought the things that she did to them. One way to be saved is that you live your life with a lot of value, so that in the days you can't intercede for yourself. Intercessors are interceding because they need you alive. I have a few people around me who have heard me preach, and they said, Pastor, if death wants to kill you, you will stay awake all night that death should not come. You must keep doing because you are blessing our lives. You must stay alive. So I'm not secured because I pray much. I'm secured because my safety has become the responsibility of certain people, because God has chosen to make my life a blessing. So if I have a problem, it's not an individual's problem, it's a community problem. It means if I am incapacitated and I can't come to preach, but that will not solve the problem. Many people may not be able to hear what they are supposed to hear. Are you with me? I am saying that just like it is for nations, it is for people. The greatness of your problem is tied to what you are. Are you a man? Are you a city? Are you a nation? Archbishop Benson Daosta was not a man. It was like a continent. Nothing must happen to Pastor Adeboye. Nothing. Because Papa is not a man, he's the globe. There is a space that is occupying, I believe in God, that makes for the balance of our world. Oh Lord, show us mercy, that in the day you take him home, like Elijah, you will allocate those who will house his unction. I'm not saying you allocate who will house it. I mean those. Let me finish that thought and then we go home. So I said the first is ordination, what we are sent to do. The second thing that determines the magnitude of a nation's problem is their prophecies. Because the prophecy of a nation gives the enemy insight into what they are and what they have been sent to do. Your prophecies give the enemy, prophecies proclaimed, give the enemy an insight into what you are, that's your ordination, and what you have been called to do, which is your mandate. Wise people don't share their private prophecies with everybody. Let them see it. Don't let them hear it. Let them hear it when they have seen it. Don't let them hear it before they see it. Except you are like Joseph. Because Joseph will not have been able to fulfill his ordination if he did not. I've heard ministers say, don't be like Joseph, don't talk. If you are created like Joseph, say it too. Because if you don't say it, it's trouble that if you are Joseph, it's trouble that will bring you to the throne. There's no cheap way. You will need to go through a prison experience. I don't mean they will lock you in the cell, but you will be incarcerated in some dimension by people who heard what you said. Imagine Jesus didn't say to the disciples that there was a possibility of dying. It means Judas will have had nobody to sell. He will not have found the cross. If there's a Judas around you, let him hear you where you are going. The reason why he's around is to get you there. If you hear him discussing how much they want to sell you, play along. I shared it during the minister.